Here are 5 celebrities that train, compete in, and cherish Jiu Jitsu. Enjoy. Number 1. Joe Rogan. You probably know Joe Rogan as a podcast host, stand-up comedian, or UFC commentator, and all-around nice and curious guy. What many people don't know is that Joe is a martial artist himself. He started training very early in his life as a teenager. At first, he pursued Taekwondo and wrestling and had already gotten more than 100 competitive fights under his belt. But when he witnessed Royce Gracie dominate the competitors at UFC 2 by using Jiu Jitsu, he realized that a complete martial artist must master both striking and grappling. It didn't take long until he started training BJJ himself under legendary Jiu Jitsu fighters Carlson Gracie and Rickson Gracie at their school in Hollywood. Joe started progressing through the belt rankings rather quickly and received his blue belt around the year 2000 and his purple belt in 2002. After receiving his brown belt, he was very busy and didn't find the time to train consistently. He stayed a brown belt for 8 years after finally receiving his black belt from his good friend and training partner Eddie Bravo in No-Gi Jiu-Jitsu in 2013 and his black belt in Gi Jiu-Jitsu from Jean-Jacques Machado. Joe Rogan has arguably become the most influential figure in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and martial arts in general today. With the biggest podcast in the world and a worldwide following, he plays a big role of bringing Jiu-Jitsu to the masses.
Oh yeah, it's gone ballistic.
Number 2. Ed O'Neill. Ed O'Neill, or should I say Al Bundy, is a famous actor, but what many people don't know is that he is a successful martial artist as well. Ed is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and says that the black belt is his greatest achievement in life apart from his children. The actor started his BJJ journey in 1991 at the age of 45. In December 2007, after 16 years of hard training, he received his very own black belt by coach and red belt holder Royce Gracie. 2023 is his 33rd year of training, which is absolutely incredible, considering the high dropout rates in martial arts in general and the fact that Ed is turning 77 years old this year. Ed often cherished Jiu-Jitsu for humbling him and keeping him down to earth at the heights of his fame. We wish Ed the best and hope for many more years of him showing the new kids his old man strength.
I knew there was a method to it all, but I never knew what, This thing, I think, could open a whole new door.
Number 3. Demi Lovato. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a male-dominated sport, like many other martial arts. That didn't keep Demi Lovato from starting it in 2016, though. Demi was struggling with anxiety, depression, and drug abuse and needed an outlet to help her get out of her head. She started training in 2016 under Orlando Sanchez, a BJJ world champion who is famous for overcoming a drug addiction through jiu-jitsu, which makes them a good fit. After 1 year of training, Orlando Sanchez promoted her to blue belt. She later trained at Unbreakable Performance in Hollywood under Danielle Martin, who is also a jiu-jitsu world champion. Demi was 24 years old when she started, and 2023 would be her 8th year of training jiu-jitsu already. But she stopped training when the corona pandemic started, because she has asthma and autoimmune disorders. It is unclear if Demi picked up training jiu-jitsu again. We certainly hope so, because she loved the sport and is anxious to get back at it.
You're like really into jiu-jitsu, like you train hard.
I was super, super into it until COVID hit. And then when COVID hit, I got really, really nervous because I have asthma and autoimmune shit. So I got really nervous about training so close with anybody that I took a break from it. But I'm anxious to get back. I can't wait to train.
It's a good humbler. That's a good thing to keep you balanced.
It's the best thing I found outside of meditation for me.
Demi Lovato is a great representative of the sport, as she has many good things to say about BJJ. We hope she keeps training and wish her all the best. Number 4. Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie is a well-known director, producer, and screenwriter for movies like King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, Disney's Aladdin, and the Sherlock Holmes movies. What many people don't know about Guy is that he is a very accomplished martial artist. He is the proud owner of 3 black belts, 1 in judo, 1 in Shotokan karate, and 1 in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. The celebrity started his martial arts career by training Shotokan karate at the Budokai in London, the oldest Japanese martial arts club in Europe. He kept training karate for 15 years and achieved his 2nd Dan black belt, after tearing his ACL twice.
And then ACL went twice on the right leg.
He saw a video of 84-year-old Helio Gracie on the mats and decided to give grappling a try. Since there was no BJJ school in London, he decided to go for judo instead and ended up earning a black belt in judo as well.
So, and back then there was no jiu-jitsu in London. There was judo.
When Helio Gracie came to London, Guy Ritchie took the opportunity and started taking lessons with him.
And then Roger Gracie came to live in the UK about 20 years ago. And I started taking lessons with him and his dad, Mauricio.
Not long after that, he moved to New York and needed a new school, which became Renzo Gracie's school, one of the best BJJ coaches today. Guy Ritchie earned all of his BJJ belts from Renzo Gracie and spent 7 years as a brown belt before finally getting promoted to black belt.
And I fell in love with Renzo, and I fell in love with jiu-jitsu in a sort of serious way. And I became obsessed with it for a number of years. Renzo gave me all my belts.
Since he is such an accomplished and well-rounded martial artist, it is no surprise that he competed in multiple competitive settings and proved his skills.
I love fighting, so I'm very happy to talk about fighting for a long time, Joe.
Number 5. Jason Statham. Jason Statham is widely known as a great actor, especially in action or fighting movies. He rose to fame with movies like The Transporter, Crank, The Expendables, Fast and Furious, and their respective sequels. If you have seen any of these movies, you should already know how badass of a fighter he must be in real life. According to himself, he has always loved practicing martial arts. Jason started at a young age training kickboxing and karate, but later on in 2002, when the actor was 35 years old, he began training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in a garage with his good friend Guy Ritchie. Shortly after that, he joined famous Renzo Gracie's academy in New York. However, he has also been training at Helio Gracie's academy in London, as he is originally from England. Since then, Jason has been training regularly for more than 20 years now and has earned his purple belt already. Sadly, there is no footage or info on him competing in any BJJ fights or tournaments, most likely to not get injured, as BJJ, or any martial art for that matter, have a large risk of injury and would therefore hinder his acting career. Hear what Joe Rogan has to say about him.
Jason Statham, what's he doing? What's going on?
Too.
No, let me see. He's a real karate guy. Jason Statham has real striking skills. Like, well, look, you can tell even the way he's standing here, like the way he's moving. No, he's gonna spin. Yeah. But even the way he's doing it, like this guy's got real skill. Look at that. Kapow. He achieved a very high level of skill in karate. I don't know exactly what it was, but from people that I know that have done martial arts with him and trained with him, they said that guy's a bad motherfucker, like a legit badass, like really knows martial arts. I believe it, right? You see him, you're like, I believe it.
Jason Statham is a well-rounded martial artist, and we would like to congratulate him on receiving his black belt one day.
You know, I like more the better, you know.
Yeah.
There's never too much fighting for me.
Yeah.
If you want to read more about these celebrities or are interested in BJJ in general, visit our blog at bjjdivision.com for more information about everything grappling related. Stay tuned for part 2 of this series. Links are in the description. Peace.
Do it for you, they show you, so you really can't make a mistake. You know what I mean? And you learn the techniques that way, and then by repeating them over and over, you finally
develop the reflex.
Develop the reflex to be able to do it.
The techniques become part of you, and you don't have to think about it. It just comes as second nature, which is the way it should be.
Whenever I think of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, I think of the teaching methodology. Is the difference which sets them apart.
Like I said, he's funny on TV. In real life, it can be a headache. It's my activity, my choice. It's my exercise for the week, and.